3:17 in the morning. And I just spent about a half hour watching YouTube videos. I get sucked in that funnel pretty quickly. Construction Stories part 68. I don't know. Face full. We have to use this PEX pipe to put water on the pour, right? I've talked about that. Duh. Whatever. Now, when you're taking it off or putting it on with anything that has to do with water, you make sure that it's off first. Duh. Common sense. It's like, here, I'm not going to take this hose off of this other hose if I know the water's still running because it's going to get all over me. That's just, like, that'd be dumb unless you're already wet, in which case, go ahead, because it doesn't matter, because you're already wet. But I was, we had to take off this hose that was already there, this PEX pipe, not hose, I apologize. And I have my PEX cutters, and I'm ready, and we're in the pontoon, and my foreman's like, yeah, cut it right there. And we're standing, like, side by side, and I reach up, and I kind of dig into it, and I start turning it, because it helps it cut better. And it bites in, and chops open, like, the front half, and then water just, and hits him, and hits me, and just spraying everywhere, and I'm like, I just kind of sit there for a second and contemplate my life. And then I just keep cutting, and he's like, oh, I gotta go turn off the water first, and I'm just, sure. Because it sucks, because it was a dry night before that point. And that's the thing, is that if you're dry, you don't want to get wet. But if you're, like, there's levels of wetness that you start, the wetter you get, the less you care. I guess. Well, for me at least, because when you're just getting a little sprinkle and you're dry, you're like, hey, what the crap? But if you already have that sprinkle on you, and you get another one, you're like, eh. And if you have those two on you already, and then you get another one, you're just like, do it. I dare you. And it gets to the point where you're so wet, just soaked, that literally the only way you could get more wet is by jumping into a pool of water. And even then, it's like, it's debatable. It's like, I'm more wet than this. And it's not possible. But, yeah. So boss took me during the first 3 hours of work and went back and forth, doing all this crap that could have been done way easier and just all this stuff, and it took so long to do. But that's the thing, is that we're getting paid an hourly wage. And my boss is the one who tells me what to do. So if he tells me to do something, and that requires me to just stand there and watch him as he does it, I'm going to do it, because unless I'm, like, self-directing, which I enjoy being, and I enjoy doing, because I like being productive, unless I'm, like, directing myself to do things, I just have to, like, let others tell me what to do, which is fine. That's fine. I have a job. I'm getting paid to do it. That's completely worth it. But it's just kind of funny, because you have a couple options. Like, you get fed up and get mad at him and tell him off, or you could just get angry and be mad at yourself and at other people, and this is stupid. Or you can just be like, okay, I ain't even mad. Because I see that as his work style that he's making me do, not as my work style. So I'm not reflecting on the quality of my work, because he's the one that's getting me to do it, like, his way and in his sense. Because if he gave me a goal and a time frame and the method and tools, then I could get it done within my capabilities or whatever. But when he goes back and forth and getting this and that, and oh, this is wrong, and then try to fix it, but then find out it was right in the first place, and blah blah blah, it's just really painful, sort of, to sit there and watch and be a part of. And it's ridiculous, because anything I try to do to, like, to fix it, or, like, if I say anything about it, then it's just like, oh, justification, excuse, meh. And so that's that. Something else. I worked a 10-hour shift today, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But so much stuff happens that I just forget. And I know, maybe it was, oh yeah, Lord. We had a lunch today. We ate with the higher-ups because our crew was the quality crew of the month, and so we got to eat with the foremans. So the foremen got to have, they have their own food, and they have a safety slideshow that they watch, and they just talk about safety and stuff. And basically I got called on. Like, they called me to, one of the guys called me and said, "What do you think?" And I was in the middle of reading a quote that was on a page, and I really wasn't paying attention. It was like that moment in school when the teacher calls on you and you just have no clue, and my reaction was basically the same. And everybody else's reaction was basically the same too. So it's like, "Hey, what about you, Timmy?" "What?" Then everybody else is like, "Timmy didn't know what's going on." So that's pretty much what happened, but with grown men and Jimmy John instead of school and papers. I'm going to go take a shower, and I'm going to go to sleep. I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay classy, San Diego. I don't know why I say that. It's from Anchorman. Okay, good night.